Guys, if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for the latest in boxing and raw boxing opinions. So I'm going to be quoting Mr. Eddie Hearn. I'm sick of these idiots out there who think he wants to fight. How stupid do you have to be to think Deontay Wilder wants to fight? Just listen to what he's saying. Boring. I want 60-40 split. Fuck off. You haven't earned $3 million for fuck's sake. You can walk into any city or any town and ask who Deontay Wilder is and they wouldn't have a clue. He ain't even going to do 300 buys on Showtime for, he's talking about the Tyson Fury fight December 1st. And I'm going to keep reading now. This, you want 60-40 split, idiot? Don't waste our time to use Joshua's name to try and gain a profile and publicity. It's a waste of time, waste of my life. Maybe he's just saying it. Who knows? But if that's what he really thinks, then don't waste my time. I'm really busy. These are time wasters. I want someone that wants to fight Joshua, not talk about it to try and raise their profile. There's only one Deontay Wilder. Bomb squad, you're the only person that says that. There's only one Deontay Wilder and nobody knows who the fuck he is. It's just so draining. All we do is chase. All we do is make approaches. All we do is make offers. Dang, son. So that is what Eddie the Hitman Hearn had to say. As you can see, he was pretty pissed off. I think Eddie Hearn finally has had enough. As you can see, he says some things that I agree with. First of all, if we go back to the beginning, he says that he was talking about the 60-40 split that Deontay Wilder was demanding, that he gets 60% of this per split. And of course, Eddie Hearn says fuck off to Deontay Wilder, and then he mentions the fact that he's never even earned $3 million in a purse in a fight, which is true. I've been saying this for months. I've been saying for months that Deontay Wilder has to understand that he's not the cash cow in boxing. If you're a fighter and you're fighting a cash cow, they're always going to get the higher percentage of the purse. So Deontay Wilder, when he's going around asking for these ridiculous amount of purse offers, it's not going to come to fruition. It's not going to happen because Eddie Hearn is not going to give Deontay Wilder this much percentage of a purse because he's not the draw. When it comes to boxing, if you look at boxing, you know how they say boxing is a business. If you look at boxing, the guys who are the cash cows in the division, they always get the most earnings, no matter what. When Gennady Golovkin fought Saul Canelo Alvarez, Gennady Golovkin was a unified champion at middleweight. Yet he didn't get more money than Saul Canelo Alvarez. Why? Because he didn't have the fan base. He wasn't a pay-per-view star like Saul Canelo Alvarez was. Saul Canelo Alvarez had the fan base. He had, he sold the tickets. He was the pay-per-view star. That's why he got more money. That's why every time he fights someone, he always gets more money when it comes to the negotiation tables. Floyd Mayweather Jr., you notice how every time he was fighting, he always got more money than all of his opponents? It was because he was the pay-per-view star. He was the one who was on pay-per-view. He was the money. That's why he called himself Money, the money team, because he was the money. Cash cow, they always get more of the money. These are just facts. Cash cows always gets, and this is the same situation with Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is the cash cow. Anthony Joshua is the guy who sells out 90,000 tickets. 90,000 people showed up to watch him fight Vladimir Klitschko. 80,000 people showed up to watch him fight Alexander Povetkin live. He is the cash cow. He's the one who fights on pay-per-view. The reason he makes multiple millions of dollars per fight is because people pay to watch him, because he has a massive fan base. This is why he is the A-side. Shout out to the A-side box community, by the way, but this is why he is the A-side in this situation. Wilder has to accept this. I've been saying this for months. Wilder has to just accept anything that Eddie Hearn offers him, take it, fight Anthony Joshua and beat him. And then when you beat him, then you can start talking about him being the A-side. Because if he fights Anthony Joshua, and if he beats Anthony Joshua, like say in the UK, in Wembley, in front of 90,000 plus people on pay-per-view, and he knocks him out cold, that's going to raise Deontay Wilder's profile through the roof. People are going to be demanding for a rematch. Then he's going to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Then he can start talking about he's the A-side because he just beat the cash cow. Do you remember how when Oscar De La Hoya fought Floyd Mayweather Jr., when they fought, Oscar De La Hoya was the cash cow of boxing. Back in 2007, Oscar De La Hoya was the Canelo Alvarez of the 150 light middleweight division or super welterweight division. He was the cash cow. At one point, Oscar De La Hoya was the cash cow of boxing. What happened? Floyd Mayweather Jr. fought Oscar De La Hoya on pay-per-view, beat him. Then he became the cash cow. After that, Oscar De La Hoya retired. He retired from boxing. And what happened? Floyd Mayweather Jr. took over his spot as the cash cow, as the pay-per-view king. And then he stayed as the pay-per-view king for several years until he retired. Once he retired, who took over Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s position? It was Saul Canelo Alvarez. Now Saul Canelo Alvarez is the cash cow, right? This is how boxing works. Right now, Anthony Joshua is the cash cow. But let's say the guy who beats Anthony Joshua, like, what's his name? Deontay Wilder, in front of these people. Then, yeah, then you can start talking he's the cash cow. But this is what he's simply saying, Eddie Hearn. And also, Eddie Hearn mentioned the fact that, he's sick of these people. I'm presuming he's talking about the Deontay Wilder nut huggers, the guys who like the LDBC or the LDBC fan base subscribers who only defend Deontay Wilder and act like every heavyweight in the division is afraid of him and it's all Anthony Joshua's fault and they just blame Anthony Joshua and it's his fault. These are patriotic boxing fans. These are, I call it the American way. The American way of boxing fans is they refuse to give any credit to any fighter in a division who is not an American. If you're not an American and you're considered the best guy in the division, the American way is to not give that guy credit. That's why you see guys like in the LDBC criticizing Anthony Joshua because he's perceived as the #1 heavyweight. He's not an American. They don't like that, so they're going to criticize him. That's why they criticize guys like Gennady Golovkin when he was a champion at middleweight because he was not an American. That's what they criticize Vasily Lomachenko. They do this to every fighter who's not an American. They criticize them and they only praise Americans as if Americans only have the ability to become pound-for-pound kings. This is the American way. And this is how many American boxing fans treat foreign fighters. And they treat Anthony Joshua like this because he's not an American. And they don't like the fact that he's being perceived as the #1 heavyweight and Deontay Wilder isn't. It's just the way it is. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. He says that that Deontay Wilder, he's sick of, like I said, Eddie Hearn is simply sick of the fact that Deontay Wilder is coming up with these, like he's saying he's not going with a legit offer. He's basically coming in with these delusional offers, which is true, with these outrageous offers as if he's the A side, which is true. Anyway, guys, still have to say, hit the subscribe button for the latest in boxing and raw boxing opinions. And yeah, really much appreciated. Eddie Hearn is just fed up, people. He's fed up with Deontay Wilder. He wants to make this fight happen, but Deontay Wilder keeps outpricing himself, basically. He's outpricing himself. He's acting like he's the A-side when he isn't. It's not just about resume. Yes, Anthony Joshua has the better resume than Deontay Wilder, but also that's the main thing. He's the draw out of the two. Like Eddie Hearn said himself, Deontay Wilder hasn't even earned $3 million yet because he doesn't have that fan base to demand that type of money against an opponent. He doesn't have that. Showtime's not giving him a 6-fight, $2 million deal the way they get Floyd Mayweather Jr. This is the problem that Deontay Wilder doesn't realize and his fan base doesn't realize. It's not just that Deontay Wilder doesn't have the resume, because Deontay Wilder has a very poor resume. If he beats Tyson Fury, the best two guys in his entire resume is Luis King Kong Ortiz and Tyson Fury. So not only does Anthony Joshua have a better resume than Deontay Wilder, but he also is the bigger draw. This is what Deontay Wilder's fan base has to understand, and Deontay Wilder himself has to understand. He is not the draw. He is not the draw. Be Anthony Joshua, you become the A-side. That's as simple as that. That's the simplest way I could put it. Subscribe for the latest in boxing. I'm out.